Why did Canada choose Gripen? It's not just about specs, it's about geopolitics, budget realities, and a long-term vision for national defense. Discover the surprising strategic chess moves that led to this monumental decision and how it impacts Canada's role on the global stage. Forget what you think you know about fighter jet acquisitions. Canada's decision to go with the Gripen wasn't a simple choice. It was a complex dance of geopolitical pressures and internal debates. Uncover the hidden forces and strategic gambles that ultimately sealed the deal for the Gripen over its competitors.
When Canada launched its Future Fighter Capability project, the stakes couldn't have been higher. On the table were three giants of modern aviation: the American F-35 Lightning II, the Boeing Super Hornet, and Sweden's Saab Gripen. On paper, each contender had its shine. The F-35 was pitched as the crown jewel of fifth-generation stealth, unmatched in radar evasion and high-tech sensors. But it came with a massive price tag, long maintenance cycles, and whispers in Canadian defense circles about whether Ottawa truly needed such a costly global power projection jet when its focus was mostly defense of its own skies and Arctic sovereignty. Then there was the Super Hornet, Boeing's trusted workhorse. It promised reliability, ease of integration with existing NATO systems, and a cheaper price compared to the F-35. Yet critics inside Canada argued it was already showing its age, a stopgap solution for a country needing a fighter that could serve for decades, not just years. And finally, the Gripen, the outsider in the race. Smaller, less flashy, and sometimes dismissed by those dazzled by American jets. But it carried a reputation for affordability, ease of maintenance, Arctic adaptability, and cutting-edge electronic warfare systems. For a country with vast airspace, extreme weather, and budget pressures, the Gripen wasn't just a jet, it was a strategic wildcard. Behind these technical comparisons, though, lay the real drama. Canada wasn't just choosing a fighter jet, it was navigating a geopolitical chessboard. Pressure from allies, defense lobbies, and internal budget battles meant this decision would shape not only Canada's skies, but its role on the world stage for decades to come.
At first glance, the Gripen looked like the underdog, a smaller aircraft from a smaller country. But the more Canada dug into the details, the more this so-called outsider began to look like the perfect match. The first advantage: cost. While the F-35 dazzled with futuristic tech, it came with a jaw-dropping price tag and sky-high operating costs. By contrast, the Gripen promised something Canada couldn't ignore: a modern fighter that costs far less to buy and to fly. For a nation that has to stretch every defense dollar across vast Arctic patrols, NATO commitments, and homeland defense, that was a powerful selling point. But Gripen's pitch went beyond numbers. Saab, the Swedish defense company behind the jet, offered technology transfer and strategic partnerships, meaning Canadian industry wouldn't just buy a plane, it would gain a role in building, maintaining, and even innovating with it. That promise of local jobs, technological growth, and defense independence sweetened the deal in ways American competitors struggled to match. And then there was the design philosophy. The Gripen was never built to be the flashiest stealth jet in the sky. It was designed to be the smart fighter, a machine that could adapt rapidly, update software on the fly, and plug seamlessly into evolving threat environments. In an age where drones, cyber warfare, and electronic jamming are rewriting the rules of battle, Gripen's flexible brain mattered as much as its wings. For Canada, a country guarding the frozen north, relying on quick turnarounds and low-cost readiness, the Gripen began to look less like an underdog and more like the surprising frontrunner in a high-stakes race. Choosing a fighter jet isn't just about who flies faster or who hides better on radar. For Canada, it's about strategic alignment. A fighter that doesn't just win dogfights,
but fits into the bigger picture of national defense and alliances. Here, the Gripen delivered in ways many underestimated. Its networking capabilities and advanced data link systems were tailor-made for Canada's commitments under NORAD. In simple terms, Gripen doesn't just fight alone. It talks, it shares, it integrates. In the age of networked warfare, where information dominance decides battles before the first missile is fired, Gripen fit like a puzzle piece into Canada's existing and future defense grids. Then comes sustainability. Canada's defense budget is not limitless, and maintaining a large fleet of high-cost jets simply wasn't feasible. The Gripen's design philosophy, easy maintenance, low operating costs, and modular upgrades, meant the Royal Canadian Air Force wouldn't be trapped by spiraling sustainment bills. Instead, it could plan for steady improvements, ensuring the aircraft stays relevant for decades without breaking the bank. But perhaps the most geopolitically intriguing factor was this: Gripen freed Canada from over-reliance on a single supplier. By choosing Saab, Ottawa wasn't just buying a jet, it was buying strategic independence. Ties with Sweden and broader European defense industries meant Canada could balance its U.S. partnership with fresh collaboration across the Atlantic. In a world of shifting alliances and unpredictable geopolitics, that diversification carried weight. Gripen wasn't just a jet that fit Canada's skies, it was a fighter that fit Canada's future. For many observers, the answer seemed clear from the start: the F-35. It was the West's flagship stealth fighter, the crown jewel of U.S. air power, and the aircraft many NATO allies were already adopting. On paper, Canada's decision looked like a done deal. But when Ottawa looked past the glossy brochures, the shine began to fade. The acquisition costs were astronomical, with each jet carrying a price tag that could squeeze Canada's already stretched defense budget. And the expenses didn't stop there. The maintenance and sustainment demands of the F-35 were notoriously complex, requiring specialized infrastructure and deep dependence on U.S. supply chains. For a country with vast distances, cold climates, and limited resources, this wasn't just a challenge, it was a potential vulnerability. Then came the issue of operational independence. With the F-35, Canada risked locking itself into a future where every critical upgrade, every major repair, and even certain mission parameters were tied directly to Washington's approval. For a nation that values sovereignty in both defense and foreign policy, this raised red flags. Could Canada truly afford to stake its skies on a jet it didn't fully control? And beyond the technicalities, there was the political and public landscape. Many Canadians questioned whether the country actually needed a stealth fighter designed for high-intensity global conflicts, when its primary missions revolved around homeland defense, Arctic sovereignty, and alliance commitments. The debate spilled into Parliament, into think tanks, and into the public sphere, making it clear this decision was never just about buying the best jet. It was about buying the right jet for Canada. In the end, the F-35 wasn't rejected because it wasn't powerful. It was rejected because it wasn't practical for Canada's unique strategic puzzle. So what does this choice mean for Canada? Not just today, but decades into the future. In the immediate term, the Royal Canadian Air Force gains a fighter that is mission-ready without being financially crippling. The Gripen's quick turnaround times, rugged Arctic adaptability, and cost-efficient operations mean Canada can put more jets in the air more often, boosting readiness in a way that even wealthier air forces envy. For a country tasked with patrolling one of the largest airspaces on Earth, that kind of presence is priceless. But the long-term implications are where this decision truly shines. The Gripen's open architecture design allows Canada to integrate future technologies,
whether that's advanced sensors, AI-driven decision aids, or even next-generation drone coordination. Instead of being locked into a closed system, Canada now owns a platform that evolves alongside the threat landscape. It's not just buying a fighter jet, it's buying a flexible, upgradable ecosystem.
And then there's the strategic positioning. By choosing Saab, Canada signals that it is not simply following the herd or bowing to pressure. It is carving out a path that balances its NORAD obligations with greater autonomy and a new network of European defense ties. This decision doesn't weaken Canada's alliance with the US. It diversifies and strengthens Canada's role on the global defense stage. In the end, Canada's Gripen choice isn't just about jets. It's about strategy, independence, and the future of national defense. And years from now, when historians look back, they may well call this decision one of the boldest and smartest defense moves Canada ever made. And that's our deep dive into why Canada chose the Gripen, a decision that reshapes not only its Air Force, but its place on the global stage. What do you think? Did Canada make the right call, or should it have gone with a different fighter? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more cutting-edge analysis of aviation and defense, make sure to subscribe to Skyjet Wings, hit the like button, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next mission. This is Skyjet Wings, where aviation meets strategy. See you in the next flight.